Hello, grade 2. Welcome back to our online class. This is teacher Giovanni, and in this video, we're going to talk about comparing numbers. Let's start with 23 and 17. Which number is greater? So before we answer that question, we have to write first 23 and 17 into our place value chart. In 23, there are 2 tens and there are 3 ones. In 17, there's only 1 10 and there are 7 ones. When you compare numbers, you always start comparing the tens in this example because tens is the highest place value. Okay, so we compare the tens, and the tens here are 2 and 1. Between 2 and 1, 2 is greater. Therefore, we can say that the number 23 is greater than 17. Okay, let's have another example. Compare 443 and 210. In this example, I'm going to use the base 10 blocks first to represent these numbers. So for 443, there are 4 hundreds, there are 4 tens, and 3 ones. For 210, there are 2 hundreds, 1 10, and we have nothing here in ones. Okay, so if you already have these blocks, then it's easy for you to put these numbers into our place value chart. In our place value chart, this time we have hundreds, and hundreds is going to be our highest place value. Okay, so for 443, there are 4 hundreds. You can check your answer by counting the number of hundreds here. There are 4 of them. There are also 4 tens, and there are 3 ones. For 210, there are 2 hundreds, 1 10, and 0 ones. Again, when you compare numbers, you start comparing the numbers in the highest place value. In this case, we have hundreds. So we compare the hundreds, 4 and 2. Between 4 and 2, which one is greater? It's 4, right? Therefore, I can say that 443 is greater than 210. So 443 is greater than 210. And how do you write greater than? Using a symbol. So we have here greater than. 443 is greater than 210. It's pointing to the right. Remember, Pac-Man always eats bigger or greater numbers. So this is your Pac-Man, and it's eating greater or bigger numbers. Take note of that, grade 2. Okay, let's have another example. Compare 692 and 696. This time, I'm no longer represent these numbers using the base 10 blocks because you know already how to do it. So for number 692, there are 600s, right? There are 9 tens and there are 2 ones. For 696, there are 600s, 9 tens, and 6 ones. Again, when you compare numbers, always start comparing the numbers in the highest place value. In this example, the hundreds. Okay, so what are the numbers in the hundreds? We have 6 and 6. 6 and 6 are just the same. So we cannot say that the first one, or 693, is greater than 696 or smaller than 696. So since these two numbers are the same, then we compare the tens. Okay? We compare the tens and look at the tens. The numbers in the tens, we have 9 and 9. Oh, they are also the same. So we compare the ones. So what are the ones? We have 2 and 6. They're not the same, which means one of them is greater or smaller than the other. So between 2 and 6, which one is greater? It's 6, right? So I can say that 696 is greater than 692. Okay, so let's answer the question here. 692 is blank 696. A while ago, I told you that 696 is greater than 692, which means 692 is smaller, smaller than 696. And how do you write smaller than using a symbol? You have something like this. Okay, just remember Pac-Man. Pac-Man always eats bigger or larger number. Look at this. Pac-Man is eating 696 because 696 is bigger than 692. Now, let's have 238, 170, and 209. So for 238, there are 2 hundreds, 3 tens, and 8 ones. For 170, there's only 100, 7 tens, and 0 ones. For 209, we have 2 hundreds, 0 tens, and 9 ones. Okay, let's compare the hundreds first. Let's compare the hundreds. By the way, we have to answer this question. The greatest number is blank. So we want to know which number is the greatest. So let's compare first the hundreds. So we have here 2, 1, and 2. So 2 is greater than 1, but there are 2 2's here. So the greatest number is either 238 or 209. So since these two numbers are the same, then we will compare the tens, okay? We will compare the tens. Look at the tens for 238, it's 3. For 209, it's 0. And 3 is greater than 0, right? Therefore, 238 is the greatest number. So I write here 238. This time, we are going to determine which number is the smallest. Which number is the smallest? And if you're going to look at here, go back to the hundreds, 1 is already the smallest, right? So we say that 170 is the smallest. Did you get that? Okay, this time we have finding more than and less than, starting with question number 1. 1 more than 435 is what? 435 has 4 hundreds, has 3 tens, and has 5 ones. You're going to add 1 more. 1 more, it means you're going to add 1 1. Okay? So you're just actually adding 1 to 5. So what number is formed now? It's 436. Remember, only the ones value is affected. Only the one's value is affected. Next, number 2, 10 more than 435. It's still the same number, 435. This time we're going to add 10 more. And 10 more is the same as this one. If you're going to look at the picture, only the tens is affected. So from 3 tens, how many tens are there now? There are 1, 2, 3, 4 tens. So the number formed now is 445. Okay, we change 3 to 4. Next, number 3, 100 more than 435. This time we're going to add 100 more. So from 400s, how many hundreds are there now? there are from 400s there, and then you're going to add 100, you have now 500s, and you copy 3 and 5. In other words, grade 2, you're just going to decide which place value is affected. Okay, is it the hundreds, the tens, or the ones? Let's have another example. 10 less than 516. 10 less than 516. So 516 has 5 hundreds, 1 10, and 6 ones. So when we say 10 less, we're going to take away or remove 10 from this group. Okay, we're just going to cross out 110. So from 110, from 110, this now becomes 0, right? We don't have 10 anymore. So the number is 500, no more 10, so that's 0. And how many ones? 6. Okay, next. 1 less than 516. So you're going to take away 1 from 516. So you take away 1. So if you get to look at the figure or the picture, the 1's value is affected from 6. It will become 5, right? So we have 515. And our last, that's our last example. And see you in my next videos.